former DSS director. I've worked with him for many years, and then I'm very grateful. The young guy you saw, Brad Lake. It really makes me happy as I go around the district. I'll have people stop and say, "Hey, Brad really came to my rescue." And I thought, wow, I'm really proud of him. And we did have a wonderful lady there who trained him, and she retired, Joanne Cofield.
Okay.
And so, but we've got good people. And on the back of the card, there's a 888 number.
Okay.
So that's toll free.
Okay.
So,
But I'm pushing for anybody that has pre-existing.
yes.
I mean, I'm not the only apple
Well,
in
and
the
see, I
orchard.
mentioned that even before you raised the issue, because that is serious. Okay.
It is.
And what we want, again, what we're working for is a safety net. And so you target it. But what they're proposing, a total takeover, will be catastrophic. And,
It will.
Absolutely.
Very much.
And it's going to be overwhelmed. If people unintentionally think everything's for free for everyone, just think of what's going to happen to the medical profession. And I had a lot of doctors, and I'm really grateful. I've got a doctor near and dear, and that is my second son is a doctor in the Navy. And so,
Right.
but I ran into so many doctors who are, I consider them young, they're in their 50s, who said, "Hey, Joe, if this thing goes through, I'm going to retire early. I'd rather."
They wouldn't be going to do, yeah.
I'd rather
It's a
be.
lot of money.
I'd rather be at Edisto. I'd rather be at Isle of Palms. I'd rather be at Myrtle Beach. And so I'll retire early. And I didn't. I found out something. This year we already have a doctor shortage. I had thought in South Carolina, since we have 2 medical schools, that we were doing pretty good. We're not.
No.
And so we have, and then the baby boomers are getting ready to retire. People of advanced age like me, but so we've got a retiring population, and so we really need to be working, taking in consideration that we're going to have fewer doctors. And then another thing is that we have doctors from all over the world who legitimately come here because of the American healthcare system. Well, they will go back to India. They'll go back to China because if they are unable to really support their families as they would like to, they'll go back to other countries where the cost of living is less.
Hey, I talked to my doctors about this, Obamacare as I call it.
Yes.
And both of them that I managed to talk to said that if it's like Social Security or Medicare,
yes.
he said, we can't sustain that.
No,
we
no.
can't because what they pay us,
Yeah.
he said, we barely can, we
and
have
this
so
is
many
that-
people. Like one doctor, he said, I have 2 people filling out Medicare.
And the Medicare reimbursement is not equal to the cost of the office.
Of course, that's exactly what they said.
Now, and the problem that will occur, government will reduce the reimbursement, and then doctors won't be able to provide care, and then the government will blame the doctors for not providing care.
Exactly.
It's not the doctors, it's the government. And then on insurance, and this is part of the Senate bill, they're going to increase taxes on the insurance companies, and then the premiums will go up. And then the people...
Another tax, more or less.
The people will blame the insurance companies. No, it's taxes causing the premiums to go up. But it causes more people to think the government is the answer. The government's not the answer. And we need 4 pre-existing conditions and portability. Yes.
This guy's intent is not to govern the rest of the country. This guy's real intent is to sabotage the country. Look at what he's doing to us. And that's what I believe, that's my opinion, that he's out to sabotage us. Look at the taxes that we're going to have to pay. Look at the stimulus bill. Look at this health care bill. This is not a health care bill, it's a tax bill.
Well, and I think IRS is one of the prominent features in this.
I've noticed.
Very briefly, I talked to Brad.
Yes.
And just give me the short version. He's going to do the long research version.
Good.
for me.
Okay,
I've already
good.
talked to him. And as I introduced myself,
Mr.
outside,
Paget.
yeah, you may or may not know my brother, which is may or may not be a good thing, Ken Paget.
Oh, yes. Yeah, sure. Paget's are prominent.
But after retirement,
Yes.
I opened a small cafe uptown,
Right.
10 employees.
Right.
Now, briefly, like Brad, go get the details, but briefly, under Obamacare. What is it going to do to me personally? And I have good insurance. Through the state, I have good health insurance. And in the process, I hate to say this,
Watch it, that's my wife.
process right now signing up for Medicare myself.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'll be 65 next month.
Yeah.
Now, what is this? I've got 10 employees.
Right.
What is this going to do to me personally?
It depends on-
as well as my employees.
But the employees are who you care about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so what we have is whatever the definition the government determines is a small business.
Right.
But if you're forced to have full health insurance coverage for them,
I can't do it.
no, the first thing you would do is not have 10 employees. You'd have 5. And so, and then ultimately you'd have none.
That's right.
And then you'd figure out, you know, it'd be better to be at Sweetwater Country Club playing golf. And so,
In the woods, deer.
or wandering around looking for deer.
That's right.
Now, the way I see it,
Yeah.
and I'm not that educated an individual or anything, but the
Well, you're
way
a
I
business
see
person, that you do better than most people up there.
it would pay me to go uptown, unlock the door, take the key off my ring, throw it in the door, and walk off. You've got 10 people. I'm taking care of.
Yeah.
I'm taking care of personally. But I've got 10 people looking at me for a job.
Well, that's why NFIB said this could cost 1.6 million jobs. And another study came back it would eliminate 4.4 million jobs. And then there was another study by an economist who's associated with the current administration that this would cost 5.5 million jobs.
And I would think that everybody around me, I think, knows we just
Yeah.
and they would argue me. In fact, if I had to close up, I'd have to leave town.
Well, that's true.
And we would have a good restaurant because he has.
And where am I going to eat on Friday nights?
But
Vince's, 114 Main Street.
But all that's dependent upon whether they put the public option in. If they put the public option in, then you dump it into that.
Well, he said he wasn't.
And then you start forcing everybody into the public option.
the government
That's
option.
how you do it.
Yeah, the government option, it gets out of control. And the government option, okay, I was hoping that question. Okay, government makes the rules, they do the interpretations, they do the 10,000 pages of regulations, and then if you make a mistake, you're going to be fined $500,000. So not only will you have a closed business, you'll have a lien against the house. So that would encourage you immediately to cease business.
Immigration.
Yes.
I bet there's nobody ever thought of this. And it's too simple to think about.
Well, enforce the laws is what I think.
Exactly.
Yeah,
For personnel on the board,
yeah,
retired law enforcement
Yes.
like myself,
yeah, right.
why not? You've
No.
already got the training.
Yeah.
Look at the vast resource you have throughout the United States.
Well, see, I actually, one of my sons served on the border with Arizona and Mexico. And the National Guard, that is a good training for them, actually. And so there was some criticism that the Guard shouldn't be doing. No, that's training, okay? And I'd rather be there than Hinesville, Georgia, where I spent 25 summers. So that's good training.
Well, you know,
And it secures the border.
They don't want to enforce it, though. That's
There's
the problem.
that's a real problem.
Good point.
That's a
I'm
problem.
probably a little old for that right now, but look at your federal people. They've mandatory retired at 55. Most of them in really good shape.
Yes, yeah.
Hire them and send them on down the
Yeah,
road.
yeah.
You know, that's a tremendous asset that people are looking over.
Well, I'm 62. People 55 are children, so they know what they're and so they are very capable people. And hey, we know. I'm always amazed. I just got back from my 40th college reunion, and